Greetings, y'all. We have more Kitty, and they call me Nobody. And Nobody was telling us this strange story about what he saw in the sky. And I'm not sure what to make of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something. I found a square-shaped cloud, but not quite what he's describing.
It's not what I saw. Yeah, what I saw was like a clear opening that went like a hallway down the whole cloud bank and out the other side. It was really creepy. And like I said, my two buddies with me, that I'm not going to name them online, but they were just as freaked out as I was. They're like, what the hell, man? And like, we don't live all that far from Harp. If you get in an airplane and you cross into American airspace, it's only a couple hours away.
Ooh, Harp. Oh, my.
So I kind of wonder if it wasn't some weather mod thing or what the hell was going on. But I don't know. I just don't know.
That is wild.
Peculiar.
I know. I wish I'd gotten a picture of something like that.
But hello, everybody in the chat. Hello, Die by the Sword. Hey, Brett Boyle. Hi, Isaac. And hey, DJ Ronnie G. Saw a rocket from Florida and New York. It was high decollation launch a few weeks ago.
I've seen some launches. I've even seen SpaceX do a satellite launch on a clear sky out here. But this, I don't know what the hell that was. By the way, you called your cat Bonkers? I seem to remember, wasn't there a cartoon in the late 80s or 90s that was called
Bonkers? Yeah. Like, hold on a minute. Bonkers. I think it was in the 90s, I think.
I think there was some bubble gum that was called Bonkers, and like fruit would fall.
Bonkers. Only one season, 1993.
Okay.
And yeah, it was a Disney animated TV series. Yeah, but I remember watching that as a kid.
And wasn't it a cat that was like a cop or something?
Yep.
DJ Ronnie apparently remembers.
Yeah, he was I think his name was Bonkers Bobcat, I think.
I just remember the intro song. As soon as you said Bonkers to the cat, I started hearing it. Because my kids used to watch it.
I'm a number. There was another TV a TV series back in the 90s. Something like it looked like a cat, but had a really ridiculous long tail. It looked like some kind of like a leopard, but his name was some kind of like I don't remember the exact name of it, but something with spaghetti or something like that.
I don't remember that one. Of course, you guys remember Cat Dog.
Oh my God, that poor thing.
All alone in the world is a little cat dog.
I have to let's see. Let me see if I can find it.
What shocks me is how few, like you millennials, my kids loved it. And I'm shocked at how few millennials actually know Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I love that.
That was a fantastic show. I still watch old reruns time to time.
I'm familiar with it, but I'm not really a fan of it, though.
That poor dog. He went through so much.
Yeah.
That guy never appreciated that poor dog. Ugh.
Eustace was such a jackass, right?
Yeah, right.
The old lady was fairly smart. She was a little naive, but Eustace was just an idiot.
So good to the dog.
I wouldn't say naive, but oblivious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how come they never saw the monsters? I was never sure about that. Like,
I think it indicated that some of it was somewhat in the dog's imagination, living out in the
right. I guess you're right.
I mean, that's the only guess I've got because I can't figure out how else they would have managed not to notice some of the crazy shit. Hello, Daniel.
Yeah, he was a cop. I haven't seen that cartoon in years.
There was a lot of good stuff that came out in the 90s, especially for Past 10 o'clock, the adult swim hours. Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
Duckman was awesome.
Oh,
Duckman?
Oh my God, Duckman.
Duckman ruled. That's Jason Alexander from Seinfeld. And
I
my
know.
God, that show was funny.
It was wild.
His big dumb son, Ajax, he was the best part of the show.
All right.
Yeah, Heathcliff is good. So
I
is
like
Garfield.
our pig assistant who's always trying to help.
Hey, Daniel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with Duckman.
We'll have to. I'll see if I can find some episodes and I'll show it to you.
And that you watch them. They are very, very funny. One of my favorite episodes is where no one has asked for his opinion or anything, but Ajax just pops up and says, sometimes at night when I leave my window open, the fumes from the paint factory next door give me the most awesome dreams.
Oh man, that's so bad. Oh my God, I love it. Oh, I feel young again watching that.
That was Dweezil Zappa that voiced Ajax.
No way, for real?
Yeah.
Dang. That's crazy. I did not know that.
There's some more that I remember that I loved, but nobody seems to remember. There was a little half-hour show called Eek the Cat.
Oh yeah,
and Eek was funny, but always either in the middle or at the end of the show, they would play a cartoon of these two crazy cavemen. One was, of course, fat, one skinny. The skinny one's supposedly smart, the fat one's supposed to be stupid. The truth is, they're both stupid. And that show was hilarious. That little cartoon was priceless. They should have spun that off into their own.
They might have tried to. Who knows?
Haven't seen it.
And my health is okay there, Cosmic. Or at least it's stable.
Oh, hey, we'll
I've
take
been,
it.
I've been
Cosmic.
taking a lot of Indian herbal remedies. And they've told me flat out, we can't cure you, but we can make you feel better.
Hey, sometimes that's
It's
all
working.
we're for. At least feeling better to start.
True.
I think not feeling like shit can help one's spirit, and someone's spirit feeling better can maybe improve physically the person.
Yeah, that I went through about 3 weeks there that I thought, this is it. It's fucking over. I talked to my lawyer and my kids and all kinds of shit because I thought, it's over, man.
Oh.
And then I went talked to the old medicine woman out here just to see, and I got some teas from her, and within a couple of weeks I was feeling much better, and now, holy shit, incredible.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
If I get sick, I'm going to have to pay a visit up there and have you guide me the right way.
Yeah, I don't know what they're all putting in these tea bags, but
if I'm dying, I'm probably not picky.
it's red and it's bitter,
Ugh.
but it's drinkable, you know.
Fair enough.
I drink one of those in the morning, one before I go to bed, and it just, I don't know, maybe it's just full of vitamins and shit, I don't know. But
what in the world is with the cat? Sorry.
Maybe it's the placebo effect. But
hey, if it works, it works.
It's working.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Life with Louie. That was Louis Anderson's weird little.
Oh,
yeah. You see, I was a huge cartoon fan when I was growing up in the 60s and 70s. I watched Warner Brothers was my biggest. You know, I loved everything they did. And as I got older, cartoons really declined. Like, I'm sorry, but the Scooby-Doo era, those were awful cartoons. It's just characters being walked across on cells in front of the same goddamn backgrounds over and over and over again. They were so lazy. And then in the 90s, they started bringing back real animation and real cartoons again. And it was great. I loved it. And now we're back to garbage.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I bought my grandchildren the entire, and I have 3 grandchildren. Each and every one of them got the entire DVD collection of Warner Brothers, Merry Melodies, Bugs Bunny, all of it,
Nice.
and they're all uncut. And they even include all of the now long lost. Gee, no one's allowed to air that anymore because
Spicy.
yeah, the spicy shit. I won't get into that on Raquel's channel, but
Fair enough. They're not so
Funny.
politically correct stuff. Gotcha.
funny stuff.
Hmm.
I've seen my daughters screaming with laughter watching some of that old shit, man. They're like, you guys had the best cartoons. I'm like, I know, right?
Oh, I found it. Here's the cartoon I remember watching. Also a Disney cartoon. Marsupilami?
Marzipan? Sounds like you're saying? Like, can you share screen?
No. Yeah, I can share screen. Yeah.
Like, maybe I'll recognize the word.
Hold on, let me get a picture of it.
Maybe maybe chat can help me. There's another one I've been trying to remember the name of. It was a Star Trek ripoff cartoon that I think it was called Captain Star, but it was the engineer I loved the most. He had 9 heads from a nuclear accident, and he had a sound and everything.
Hello, Star. How are you?
Yeah, Marsupilami.
I don't know how in the. I don't know.
Hey,
Marsupilami.
Alistair. Yeah, I remember watching that too. Like,
Those like the
along
ones
with Bonkers, the cat, or Bobcat. All right, let me get the picture. Yeah, this. The cat, look at that, like has really ridiculous long
It
tail.
doesn't be loading yet. Oh wait. Oh, what in the? Yikes!
Yeah, Marsupilami,
It looks like the word marsupial maybe.
or something like that. Yeah, I remember watching that cartoon back in the 90s.
I do not recall that one, I must admit. There were so many cartoons back then. Holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah, but I remember watching that along with Bonkers.
Oh, excuse me.
You don't, unfortunately, you don't really see those cartoons anymore.
Yeah, you kind of got to look for them.
I'm doing good, Alistair. What's up with you? Black Star?
Oh, I remember Black Star. That one was action adventure kind of thing. That I think, if I'm thinking right, that's almost fantasy sort of cartoon. No, this one was an absolute satire of Star Trek, and I'm pretty sure it was called Captain Star, but I could be mistaken. I've looked for it, tried to find it places, and it's vanished, man. There might be some clips somewhere, but I can't find them.
Sorry, I'm distracted. Tins Uni in my face.
Freakazoid was interesting cartoon from the 90s. Yeah, what number?
The name sounds familiar.
What was the one? It was a whole bunch of little aliens hiding in an attic, and Iggy Pop did the fucking intro song. My kids loved that one too. I wasn't a big fan, but it was all right.
3 aliens in the attic. Don't know that one.
Animaniacs. That's another one my kids loved.
Oh, that is cute. Maniac, zany to the max.
Yeah, I heard that it's continuing, which is good. I didn't know there was going to be a prequel to the Dragon Ball superhero. I'll be looking forward to that. Well, it is from the 90s. Same as Bonkers. I mean, the TV cartoon, but I don't know how old the character is. Animaniacs. Marsupilami is a comic book character and fictional animal species created by Andre Franquin. Its first appearance was in January 31st, 1952, of the Franco-Belgian comics magazine Spiro.
Hi, Insanity.
Yeah, but have you read European comics? They're awful.
I haven't.
They're brutal. Just wow. Like, no thank you.
Wasn't that a television cartoon with John Lithgow that was made it a cartoon? I don't know. Hey, Insanity. How are you doing? Hey, Michelle.
Yeah, meow.
Anyone remember a cool live-action series called Journey of Alan Strange? That was a good show. No, I don't.
Yeah, I'm kind of drawing a blank there, too.
Yeah, it is. That's what I heard, Alistair. Oh, yeah? I hope your daughter had a good birthday.
Indeed. Happy birthday to her.
Tired cursing my garbage internet. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that.
Something's always going on that man's internet. It's killing me over here. I mean, like,
yeah.
I know one time, like, go to an IHOP and stream with us, man.
Let me be a total shill. I'm telling you, I used to have bad internet. I really did. No longer. Now that I got Starlink, baby, I got some of the finest internet in the world. My ping on World of Tanks is 36. It used to be over 800.
His internet is out of this world.
It's fantastic. I can't say enough about it.
Awesome. I have to look into that.
I don't know. I'm pretty fine with the internet connection I have. It's just I need to get myself an internet amplifier for my PlayStation.
Gonna get myself connected.
Yes, I remember Earthworm Jim. That's another good one from that time frame.
I'm familiar with it, but I'm not really too familiar with the character. You have the name of my favorite store in your name? LOL. I'm a little confused.
Hot topics. You guys don't have hot topics where you live?
Yeah, I do.
Hot topic hasn't been hot topic in about 15 years, I'm saying. I don't know what it looks like now, but it's probably pretty terrible.
Oh yeah, I remember the
Yes,
internet
it
back
was.
in the 90s. That awful sound when
Yeah.
when you
The
start
dial-up modem kicking in.
yes, yeah, floppy disks and all that.
Oh my gosh. I still have some laying around the house somewhere.
I've still got the entire box for the AOL of floppy disks for AOL Online.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
and there was no Safari. I used Internet Explorer. Well, if that is true, that's pretty awesome.
Girls into martial arts.
Sanity saying Starlink keeps pushing back his arrival date. It could be worse. Australia, anything south of the equator, they're not scheduled to get Starlink for another 5 years.
So it moved to mid 2023 now. Oh man.
Biscuits.
Yeah, I like Hot Topic. That interesting stuff over there.
Yeah, I don't know how interesting their stuff is like interesting, but also like overpriced. I finally got.
Well, yeah, that too.
I mean, a pair of trip pants for like $80. I mean, come the fuck on.
Well, Hot Topics they weren't just goth. They were really, really good for like if you were into the metal militia, you could find all kinds of shit like that there, and all the metal band T-shirts and such.
Oh, Spencer's.
Spencer's? I'm not really familiar with Spencer's.
Spencer's had everything.
They
had all kinds. They had like inappropriate candles, fun candles, pop culture stuff, T-shirts, pop culture things on it, calendars, pretty much everything.
Ask kids nowadays what a floppy disk is. No idea. Yeah, pretty much ask them what is a VHS tape. Like they're gonna look at you like, huh?
Oh, my dad, I'm old enough. When I started in computer classes in high school, it was real floppy disks. Those big black things in the paper that, you could flop around like super floppy. And those went in and were shut with a lock, and away you went. You started, you could record programs you were writing or copy games and such onto them. And it goes even before that. My first computer, it would store anything that I programmed into it on cassette tape. No shit.
That is wild.
Inappropriate candles, LOL. What do you mean?
Yeah, they'd have like some phallus-shaped candles sometimes. They just weird stuff. Boob candles.
I don't know. I remember seeing this some time ago. There was a candle shape of a torso of a woman. Okay, that's interesting.
Oh, okay. I don't think he gives me that option.
You went to the bulk barn to get sweets and went to pay with Intertac, and I tried to swipe my card. Did not work, so the girl at the counter told me to insert it.
I don't know. I told him
Told me to insert it. I could not help but giggle. Insert it. That's what she said. Ha ha.
I had a feeling it might be going there. So I was like, whoa.
I'm old enough to remember our computers with audio tapes.
Wow.
That was the storage technique at the very beginning of the personal computer.
Oh, wow. I had no idea they took audio tapes. That's insane. That's wild. How old is Cosmic?
Well, ask him.
Okay, how old are you, Cosmic? Because you have me curious.
Yeah, and guys, if I appreciate if you can help more Kitty with her car issues, just click on the link right there that I'm showing.
Yeah, I would love y'all forever. He says he's
Mhm.
40. I'm a year older than him, and he remembers these computers. I do not. Dang. It's wild.
Sadly, aw.
I feel bad too. I'm older than you, Cosmic. I'm so sad.
Dr. Forbin, I had a Timex T1000, and my parents bought me the little tiny black and white monitor and the cassette deck recorder for it as well. And it literally was, you remember those old school cassette decks? That's what it was. It just recorded the sounds the computer was putting out.
Oh, wow. Insanity says he's 43. Yeah, but that doesn't count because you look 25. I've seen him. He looks 25.
Hey,
Third
Dr. Forbin. Nice to see you.
Indeed. Hello, Dr. Forbin. And hugs to you. Haven't seen him in ages. I hope you're doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
I get a tentacle hug. Hugs his fellow 40-something. Righto. They have like a 40s club.
Yeah. You know, I was never a fan of X-Files. I watched it because my wife really liked it.
Some of the episodes.
To me, it was always a tease. Tease, and you finally get to the end of the show, nothing burger. Like it was all supposed to be psychological. No, I want to see a freaking alien once in a while, okay?
Well, so, yeah, when someone says that something's psychological, I assume it means it's a movie that's going to mind fuck me and I'm going to be pissed.
I'm not familiar with the X-Files at all.
There's been a couple episodes that were kind of okay. Like that one guy who could kind of get like elongated and squeezed like underneath doors and shit. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, there was some good episodes. I ain't gonna lie, but
as a whole,
for the most part, they were all the same boring trash. Whoever was writing it got lazy.
Well, they did write for a long time. They probably burned out on it.
I haven't been asked for ID since 1984.
Oh God.
Yeah, I guess that's the new Sonic game, Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah, I think someone mentioned it the other night. Actually, you're the only one that thinks of that. Maybe I'm just the only one that says it. Maybe they just assume you know it, so they don't tell you.
Camera's coming back. Good Lord! Like I'm a huge Godzilla fan, so of course you're gonna run into some Gamera movies here and there. And oh Lord, they're just awful.
No, I'm a millennial.
I'm like kind of weird borderline. There seems to be argument on Gen Z ends or Gen X ends.
Yes, Cosmic. Gillian Anderson was a good excuse to watch X-Files.
I concur. She weirdly got better looking as she got older.
Yes, she's one of those blessed people that simply got better looking as she aged.
Lucky bitch.
I don't even know what's going on with Cher. What the hell is that?
Well, you know she has 2 kids from all the skin she's had removed. She's able to build 2 little chubby kids.
You remember that, you know, like I'm old, and I can remember her and Sonny and Cher's comedy hour from the 70s.
Yeah.
And, you know, like,
feather sequence.
You see her in those photos back then, and you see her today, and she doesn't look much different.
It really doesn't. Like, she had a good plastic surgeon. I do miss her teeth having that cute little light to it, like they used to. Her little canines were kind of cute.
Hmm.
It gave her smile some character. I liked it. I was kind of sad that she, got rid of it.
Why, yes, I am aware that the world hit 8 billion people. Can I tell you guys quick a little horror story, a little allegory, something just for your mind to chew on?
Oh, dear.
Sure.
It's the story of the flies in the jar. There's 2 flies in a sealed jar. Can't get out. They breed. They make 4 flies. Those 4 flies breed. There's 8 flies. Then there's 16 flies. Then there's 32 freaking flies. Then there's 64. Then there's 124. And it just goes on, or 128. And it just goes on and on and on. Then the jar is full. What happens next?
Do flies eat flies?
You got her.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
I
dear.
just kind of came. I didn't know that was actually the answer.
I was about to say that the jar busted open, but
I don't think there's
Or the
strong
jar
enough.
breaks, take your pick, and that's still an allegory for the earth. Eventually, it won't be able to support us. It's already at that point. There's a lot of people starving. Come on.
That's because of warlords and bureaucracy. If they did things like they used to, they encourage each person to have their own gardening and didn't tell people they couldn't collect their own rainwater and garden their front lawn. Things and made people forget how to do those sort of things, because after a few generations, people just forgot how. Now we got people who don't realize that meat comes from the fucking animals and not from a grocery store. So, a few generations, and that's what happened.
Ronnie's right, his last comment, but equilibrium nonetheless. You'll find equilibrium through death. Eventually, the earth will shed us off like a skin.
Oof.
I don't even want to even think about that, to be honest.
Well, the sad part is you're young enough that you're going to live through an incredible depopulation. You're going to see it. Things will change in your lifetime. You will see.
Yikes! I've gently encouraged my daughter not to reproduce. Adopt maybe, but not add to things. I haven't done it.
Yeah, at this stage in the game, we don't need to reproduce. I hate to sound like one of those globalist jerks.
I'm right there with you because
it's over. We got to stop it. It's got to stop.
There's already so many kids and stuff that need a home. It's almost like using yourself as a puppy
it's ridiculous.
You're creating more when you could already give some a home.
And this has to be worldwide. You can't just let one section of the world just breed like crazy, like flies.
Right.
It's all got to stop.
I think a lot of times people would actually volunteer to do it if they would make it free or cheap. A lot of people, doctors, especially in America, are really bad about this. If you want a hysterectomy before 40, you have to get your husband's permission pretty much, or the doctor might not even decide to do it anyway because you might someday want kids. And whether you have a medical or philosophical reason for not wanting to reproduce, women in that regard are treated like second-class citizens about it. And there's a lot of women who would like to just basically be sterilized, and they're told no. So I think that's kind of crazy. But again, I strongly believe that something like that has to be voluntary, because otherwise we start doing that slippery slope bullshit. Did you see that news article the other day, last night?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, well, apparently was sterilizing Ethiopian Jews immigrated there without their consent. Oh, we're giving them Vera shots and stuff without their consent. So they were stopping them from having children without them realizing that's what they were doing to them. Which I think is, I really thought that would be the last nation on earth to pull that stunt, honestly, considering 80 years. I really thought they would be the last ones to try that crap, but apparently not. I was quite stunned by it. I won't go further into that, but yeah.
There's an old song called Flagpole Sitting, where during part of the song he sings that he's been all around the world and found that only stupid people are breeding. The
Oh my
creep
god.
cloning and feeding. And he's not wrong. The sad part is the intelligent people are not breeding. We literally are living through the movie Idiocracy.
I agree. That is a big part of it there.
Idiocracy? Never seen that movie.
Holy cow, girl! I'm gonna have to show it to you.
I highly suggest you do.
It's funny and scary.
Speaking of which, I guess there's a new Godzilla movie coming out.
Ooh.
I'm a massive Godzilla fan. People will ask me, "What's your favorite superhero, man?" I'm like, Godzilla.
Not what they were expecting, but not necessarily ruled out either.
They can't argue with it.
DJ Ronnie G says he's been rewatching the Godzilla movies from the 60s. Yeah, I haven't really seen that much of the Godzilla movies. There's a lot.
I've seen them all. Every jack one of them, from the worst to the best. And the best is still the original. If you can find the Japanese cut of Godzilla with English subtitles, that is the best Godzilla movie ever made.
A Toho one or a crappy American thing?
Yeah, no, they took that very same movie, threw in, I think it's Edward R. Murrow and a bunch of other white people in clip scenes, and took a bunch of the real movie out. And yeah, man, the American version is trash. You want to see the Japanese one.
I don't know if I ever saw it.
Godzilla's getting into good movie from Toho again, but this time is set in World War II, says Alistair.
Huh. Could be interested.
Yeah.
I'll check it out for sure. I'm going to be a little... I'm not a big fan of some of the newer ones that came out, but they're not bad. You know, I'm not going to shit on them.
Right.
Oh, and Cosmic Terror of Mechagodzilla is a fantastic movie. Not going to lie. It's just the original is, in the Japanese form, is very dark. It's actually scary. It's not meant to be funny. It's not kid stuff. It's a completely different movie from all the rest.
You bought the Show Era 8 movies and special edition that was released a couple of years ago. Cool. Yeah, whenever you're showing this book set about Godzilla a while back, Dr. Forbin.
Yeah, like Toho also made some spin-offs. A lot of people think that Rodan is one of Godzilla's enemies. No. Rodan had his own movie. The original Rodan movie is simply called Rodan. And it's also Toho, it's black and white, it's Japanese, and again, it's so much better than a lot of the newer stuff. I have that Rodan movie from the 1980s on a VHS tape, and it still works.
Nice.
All these years later.
That is so... Sorry. Hairball.
Hey, Dr. Foreman, if you want to come up on here, the link's pinned in the live chat.
Another one that, you know, a lot of people will shit on and they'll tell me I'm wrong, but Godzilla versus Biollante, where he fights the big plant, the flower, odd movie. But if you really look at it for its effects and such, it's a beautifully shot movie. It really is. It's a good one. You should check it out.
I've only seen a few of the fairly earliest Godzilla movies. Mostly from the 60s.
Well, they get in the 70s and 80s, they get really ridiculous and campy. Come on. When they bring in the son of Godzilla, that's especially bad. You got to see that crap to believe it. That's the era we get the dancing Godzilla meme from.
Well, good luck. Quite a binge watch.
Oof. Yeah, if something's like 2 or 3 seasons, I'm okay to get started. But like, if it's more than that, when I first started, I'm not sure I can commit to that.
Not familiar with Biolante.
No one is. It's one of those swept under the rug Godzilla movies that you just don't hear about. And, it's one of the better ones. It really is. You need to see it.
Hey,
If you're a Godzilla freak, you should see it.
Nice. I just came off a stream talking about Godzilla. There's some
Hey,
gigantic fans
They're
over
all
there.
good and warmed
Hello,
up.
Raquel.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, cutie pie.
And is that Soul Assassin? Am I seeing that correctly? No.
Where?
Never mind. I don't see any names, and I don't recognize avatars. So I know the 2 young ladies in the place. I'm Stephen Ransom. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, that's Call Me Nobody.
My bad. I've been
Ironic.
around for a few years in a small form or other.
Let's see,
All right, that's fine, but you're more than welcome to come up here.
Yeah.
I apologize for my tardiness. Just finished up a stream with some very chatty geeks.
Oh yeah, it's a free cosmic. We'll do that sometime soon.
Sweet. There we go. I can now see the chat. Hello, chat. How are you guys doing? Look at this. What do we got in here? We got Cosmic. We got DJ Ronnie. Yeah, we got the usual gang. Daniel's Hot Topics, of course.
Son of Godzilla. I know Godzilla had a son, but I'm not really too familiar with the character, though.
Oh, somebody earlier there said it was cute. And it's not. Yeah. Little Godzilla was so cute, though. No. It's not cute. It's annoying.
Yeah, it's definitely an Ewok kind of thing. It's almost like Batmite from the Super Friends or some nonsense like that. It's kind of that same thing where
Batman,
it's just like
Brave and the Bold cartoon.
The rest of the movie around the son of Godzilla isn't bad. There's some really funny stuff going on there. He does one of his first drop kicks through the air against an enemy and shit. It's pretty funny stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they had to hang him from wires and slide him down a rail into the guy.
Yeah, well, his tail is suspiciously attached to the ground.
Yeah, it's priceless, man.
Hey, Alistair, how you doing? Welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what is that? What shenanigans are we getting up to here?
Well, I could get up to some shenanigans like Fed could, but Raquel doesn't like that stuff much.
we tone it down for her.
Yeah, tone it down. Still shenanigans, but in a tone kind of way.
Light.
That's right. Yeah, and just to toot somebody else's horn, if you really want rated R shenanigans, Death by Saber, I think, is streaming as we speak. So, you can go over there.
Send people over from her stream now. Dang. Back. Bad form, sir.
Well, if we're not selling.
I think we're selling well enough.
Meow.
Yeah.
King Ghidorah. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with these monsters.
Raquel, I think you would appreciate some of the old school 60s, 70s Godzilla movies. There's something kind of charming about them. There's a lot of the tropes that are in anime with giant creatures that come straight out of these old films. Just as a historical earmark, watching one or two of the classic ones, I think you'd get a sense of what we're talking about. You know, some of the typical anime heroes and typical anime conversations come straight out of some of these Godzilla movies. Specifically, a UFO alien race shows up on Earth, and this whole Studio Ghibli plotline takes place where it becomes an environmental story, and Godzilla becomes a hero of the nation of Japan to fight against the corruption of the environment with this smog creature.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, there was always an environmental message to these movies. That was what it was all about, is stop with the nuclear shit and stop polluting.
Yep. So it definitely worth a quick look, for sure. Anybody who's curious about that stuff, this is part of the legacy of Japanese cinema.
Hmm.
Now, sadly, in this day and age, I don't agree with that anymore. Windmills and solar have proven to be a massive failure.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys want to go green, there's only one alternative, and that's nuclear energy. That's all we have right now. There is nothing else.
Yeah, and not necessarily plutonium. There's a lot of other derivatives of the same equations that have not even been explored since their inception in the late 40s. What is the name of that alternate material?
Well, if we could get past, even if we could get past fusion and get into fission, cold fission, it would make a hell of a difference, man. And we can do this now. We found more radioactive isotopes that we can play with. We don't need to keep using enriched uranium and plutoniums anymore.
Yeah, what is it? Thermite? Is that what it's called?
I don't remember. I know what you're talking about because one of my geologist buddies brought it up to me. He said, you know, there's a new nuclear rod out there, eh? And it's so much safer.
Yeah, I'm talking about a material that is actually, you can pick it up by combing it out of normal, natural beach sand. It's one of the minerals that's in natural beach sand. It's prevalent throughout all of nature. It's not deeply radioactive until you actually bring it to almost like an atomic boil, and then it becomes like another material and starts releasing energy.
I think Ronnie just nailed it. It's thorium.
There you go, thorium. Thank you, Ronnie.
And thorium was just a hypothesis at one point.
Yeah, they decided to go with the nuclear we're familiar with, but thorium was an equal player in the original Navy question. When the Navy was looking for an atomic solution to diesel power in their submarines, thorium was one of the engines they were working on.
My nation here in Canada has built nuclear reactors all over the world called CANDU reactors. People are still buying them to this very day. And we've set a few of them up here in our nation as well. Even though there's supposed to be a no nuclear power, no nuclear bombs treaty that was signed in the 50s for Canada. We'd never go nuclear. Well, we have.
Well, there's a difference between militarization.
No CANDU reactor has had an accident or meltdown since their introductions in the early 70s.
That's correct. All the evidence that I've seen about some of these thorium platforms, first of all, they're really small scale. Second of all, once the engine stops functioning properly, the whole thing stops being nuclear because it takes the engine to make the material go nuclear in the first place. So it's not dangerous until the engine gets up to speed.
Well, that's another thing is a lot of people think that a lot of these rods are that we do use are radioactive. They're not when they're fucking brand new. It's as they decay, they get much worse.
And plus
Hmm.
also, they call me nobody. Have you ever heard of the Sapphire Project?
No, enlighten me.
There's a group that is researching high energy plasma physics. And this is all part of a new paradigm in physics called the electric universe theory. And it proposes that the universe is not primarily gravitational, but it is primarily electromagnetic, and that plasmas are doing most of the heavy lifting, not gravity.
I hate to say this, but Tesla pointed that out over 100 years ago, and no one would believe
Exactly.
it.
And the gentleman with the fez that was doing all of the plasma research, that was trying to create artificial suns in a bottle, they explore his research with modern techniques, and they have succeeded in producing a power plant that is basically a miniature sun made entirely out of electrical activity, and it is producing 1,200% over the amount of energy that's being put in. And some of the side effects of the device itself is that it's transmuting the material within the device. On the surface of the electrical equipment inside the device, the surface of the cathode is being transmuted into multiple materials in much the same way that the sun naturally gives off aluminum, titanium, gold, silver, platinum. All of these materials are being spontaneously generated because the plasma layers are actually transmuting the air between these multiple layers of varying frequencies of plasma around the cathode. It's called the Sapphire Project. I
Very
have
interesting.
I have a playlist on my channel. I subscribe to their YouTube channel. There are several hour-long features where the gentlemen discuss this very openly and demonstrate the device. They have had nothing but success. They've gone completely silent at this point because they're into prototyping.
Hmm.
Well,
Mission
and let's go a little
successful. This could be a power plant the
for sure.
size of a gumball machine that produces enough energy for an entire city, but with just car batteries and stuff like that.
Well,
Wow.
the Wardenclyffe Tower, when Tesla built it, he proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that through the atmosphere and ground, that means grounded into the earth deeply with an iron rod, he was able to produce electricity, and a lot of it, like for free. It just collected it right out of the freaking earth. And he knew that he could put a great big sort of coil, not huge, but say about 6 foot tall, in the back of everyone's yard and give everyone free electricity. So they called him mad, and they discredited him in the media, and they ruined his life, man. Some people have even gone as far as to say that he didn't just die, he was actually murdered so that they could go and steal everything that he had, all his
I wouldn't be
records and
surprised.
such. By the way, do you know who ended up with all of the fucking records?
The
The
government?
Trump family. How about that?
No way, for real? Oh,
Yeah, look it up. The Trump family. Donald's
Hmm.
dad got all of the fucking research and records that Tesla did.
I heard the FBI or some equivalent thereof.
Oh, okay. I was trying to blank out the name, but yeah, Nicholas Tesla.
Nikola Tesla.
You
Yeah.
need that huge tower.
Yeah, it looked like a big
Wardenclyffe
golf
Tower, yeah.
ball on a tee.
They burned it down, and then some kind of
Oh.
accident because he was a crazy old man and burnt down his own place. Bullshit. They burnt it down. And then when they couldn't find all of his records, because most of them were in his head, they finally went after him and got rid of him. And then they went and cleaned out his pathetic little apartment that he lived in for free off some generous people. He died penniless. And
Yeah,
this
another
is the man
gentleman
who
very
changed the
similar to
modern
that
world.
is a guy called Theremin as well. We know him from the science fiction sound effect instrument, this musical instrument that you
Yeah,
put your
I'm aware
hands
of
near. that creates that woo, electrical, sound effect, kind of sci-fi sound thing. He invented that
The original
instrument.
Star Trek theme. It's theremin.
Basically, yeah. It's also in one of the Beach Boys songs as well. It's currently
Wait, the
one of the
Beach
most
Boys
exotic.
song?
Yeah, there is a Beach Boys song that uses the theremin as a unique sound that they were trying to bring to bear during the 60s. But theremin created one of the first microphones that has no moving parts. It can't be detected. He was captured while vacationing in Europe by the Russians and vanished from the face of the earth up until about 10 years ago, when it was discovered that he had been a prisoner of the Soviet government since like the late 60s or something like that. So there's a lot of this kind of stuff out there.
Yeah, the Soviets grabbed one of our nuclear scientists here in Canada too back in the day. They did. I shit you not. They actually came over here, drugged the man, put him in a bag, put him in a box, and shipped him to Russia, and no one ever fucking saw him again.
Yep. Yeah, a strange thing about Tesla is that he was outside wandering with his own thoughts, and when he was looking at nature, he spontaneously came up with the idea of alternating current. The way he describes it, it's almost as if he saw his understanding of it in the frequency of lights coming down from the sun.
And let's remember that guys like Edison would get an idea and then start hammering away at prototypes until they finally got it. They might go through 1,000 prototypes before they finally got it. Tesla would think about something and then build it, and it would work.
Yep. He was a very uncanny person. There was something else going on with that person. And if you believe some of the folklore about the late 1800s and the industrial age, there were people coming out of Eastern Europe where it was just like, are we sure these guys are all human? I mean, what is going on with this guy? This guy basically looked at nature and saw it in an entirely different way than most people did. And just like Mozart, just started wrapping wires around cathodes and anodes and created stuff that just worked and did things that nobody expected it to do. And he's like, well, of course it does that.
Well, one of the biggest things is I remember reading a story about some guys that one of their generators had shut down at some world trade show in the late 1800s, and it was a Tesla generator or a Tesla motor. Well, somebody, for some reason or other, spun the armature on it, and all the lights came back on, proving that Tesla motors were also generators. They could do either or. It didn't matter. Now, anything you buy today won't do that.
No, as a matter of fact, they stopped putting generators in cars, and we now refer to them as alternators. They used to be generators.
I got a whole bunch of old car generators. I do. Sorry, it's the doomsday guy in me.
That's fair.
You can attach one to a bicycle and just start pedaling and charge up a bunch of batteries.
Darn tootin'. And for those out there that are interested in exploring some of this stuff, you can actually recharge your battery-operated screw gun by turning the screw motor backwards, and it will start to charge the battery.
For real?
If you explore, there's YouTube channels that get into all of this stuff.
It's
this
the brushless
is not wacky tinfoil nonsense.
See, these new
all legit.
And same goes with RC aircraft. These new brushless motors that do such great RPMs, they're based on Tesla technology. And you're right. When you spin them in the opposite direction, they'll charge the freaking batteries up.
Yeah. So we live in a world that is right on the brink of shattering its own secrets.
And it's about time. It really is. Like they've been hiding the shit from us so that they could make money off oil and natural gases and such for so long. It's ridiculous.
Killed a lot of people in the process.
They've killed people over coming up with free energy ideas.
Like a water operated car. Like, holy fuck.
I'm just wondering, when will I get my flying car?
I can explain the water operated car very simply. It's if you go into outer space and you need water, you can't carry water because it's too damn heavy. So what they do is they have a nice little box machine where you inject hydrogen and oxygen in the correct amounts, and it flows over zinc and copper plates, and what comes out the bottom is water, pure water. Okay? You can do that in the opposite. You can charge those plates with an electrical charge. You can then break down the water into hydrogen and oxygen. You can pump it into a combustion engine and run it. Yeah. It's a fact.
I love it.
Yeah. And to answer your question, Raquel, take a look at human-size quadcopters because the flying car will be completely automatically driven. As soon as automated driving becomes a better than 300% guarantee, we will start to see flying cars. They will never be piloted by human beings, though.
They exist. The trouble is they don't want people in control of them because there will be carnage.
I've seen people drive badly just because it started to have 1 or 2 drops of rain. Suddenly everybody forgets how to drive. So
it's not even that. It's not even that they're concerned about the insurance level of human error. You're talking about an object that could weigh as much as a regular car flying through the air, and you get somebody who's pissed off at their local 7-Eleven decides to just crash it into the front door.
Oh shit, yeah.
Okay, we're talking about the weaponization of these technologies. That's the real concern.
Better yet, you get Paul Pelosi walks out of a bar, pissed to the gills, jumps in his flying car, and look what's going to happen.
Right.
No shit.
Without automation, it's a weapon.
That's a fair point. I was just thinking about how dumb humans can be. I didn't think about the weaponization of it. I mean, you got to just my mind didn't go there.
Didn't we have a parade that was driven through by an SUV?
Yep.
Oh, yes. Automobiles are weapons. There's no denying it. I keep waiting for them to ban them just on that result.
And you know what? Some of these attacks and some of these circumstances may actually be fostering such thinking, that they may actually be cultivating such thinking of making it illegal to drive at all, which is where auto driving is going.
Speaking of people running people over, did you by any chance see the video that they have of the cops talking to the guy that ran over all those police cadets in California?
No.
You see his face? Oh, he's all sorts of beat up. The guys that didn't get injured kicked the crap out of him, man.
I think it's interesting. Every time someone does something to a cop, their mugshot, and it looks like they got the crap beat out of them. It's like, I wonder what happened there. He must have fell.
Well, here's a really good piece of advice. Don't resist. Do what they tell you, and you won't get beat up.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of driverless cars, I was looking at this yesterday. It says some kind of automobile that's driverless that delivers groceries for you.
That's gonna put people out of work.
Now, what it is, it's an autonomous vehicle, robo car. And I guess it delivers groceries for you, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I still have the photograph of something I saw recently. In Los Angeles, there's a bank of about 4 of these small robot delivery vehicles out in front of a Chick-fil-A on Western Avenue. And I know that they're still being test planted, but the basic idea is that it's a giant heater cooler system that has an AI driven sidewalk running delivery vehicle. and it will do local deliveries to the neighborhood from the Chick-fil-A.
I'm not
So-
crazy about this idea. You get issues with the computer, whatever. Look, I know MSN isn't touching it, but there's been some serious problems with these autonomous vehicles in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Several of them have gone absolutely crazy and mowed many people down.
Oh my god.
Oh dear.
They
Just
are
like
working around it, and it is inevitable. Just like the automobile, if you look at the old black and white movies at some of the initial rollouts of the combustion engine and the car, you will see similar stories. But that never stop. When an industry wants to do something, it will allow the damage to happen so that it can be regulated.
As long as it's cost effective for them.
It's you know what? It's not even about that. It's about the mobilization of a technology that they've spent far too much money on it for it to stop.
Hey, Milton.
Yeah, Milton.
Hello. They should ban vehicles, arms, and legs thinking anything can be used as a weapon. Oh, well.
Hey, Bee's Nest.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey, what's happening, man?
Chilling.
Amazon
Hey,
was
it's been
in a
talking.
while.
Amazon was talking about delivery by drones not so long ago. How is that going to work with the airspace?
They fly lower than the airplanes do.
That's right. And I have seen there's actually local coffee companies in Arizona that already do this.
Some guy threw a drone over my land. This is totally illegal in Canada, by the way. But he flew a drone over my place and was basically buzzing in the whole camp and looking over everything and filming it. Well, he met Mr. 12 gauge goose gun. When he came up crying and bitching about it, I pointed the gun at him and said, "Get the fuck off my property. You ever fucking come back spying on me, you're going to get it."
Uh-oh. Right. Hey, Catman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, the equation in that is that freedom will eventually displace infringement and liability. And infringement and liability will displace hard regulations. Like,
it never got
where does your ownership of your own land stop?
Because I had the RCMP show up and charge me with destruction of personal property.
Right.
And my lawyer ripped it apart. We didn't even get to court. They dropped the case.
That's right. See, there's going to be this push and shove for a while because whether anybody wants to believe it or not, there is a certain level below your ownership of your land that is not owned by you.
Yeah, and not only that, but I have a right to privacy. It's written in my Bill of Rights, and you cannot hover over my land and film me. That's fucking illegal.
Right.
And that's in Canada.
So says Barbara Streisand, too, for the same exact reasons. That's where that whole Streisand effect actually took place. Google Maps went through all of this already. This is a matter of what is the volume above and below your land, and where do regulations literally dictate where your ownership and where your privacy ends, because satellites are photographing the surface of the earth all the time, and the little Google mapping systems are continuously rephotographing all of those street photos, and they're doing it with very little regulation in place, and it takes legal action to test the parameters of all of this. And they'll be push and shove for decades.
Kind of scary. You can literally type in your address and home on it on Google Maps.
Thanks, Cosmic. You have a great night.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks for coming over, Cosmic. You have a good night.
Yeah, guys, I don't mean to be ignorant or anything, but I'm at that point too. I have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I have to drive 6 hours to Prince George, maybe a little more. do a bunch of shopping, and drive 6 hours back tomorrow. So I got a long day.
Hey,
Yeah.
it was a pleasure
Can I
meeting
come
you,
right
sir.
back?
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, nice to see you again,
right.
nobody.
Take care, guys. Good to meet you all too.
I gotta make it a call.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a very interesting subject, Raquel. There's a lot of
Yeah.
interesting things that are going to have to happen, and in a free system, this is the way you get it done. You know, you allow until it becomes an issue, and then you have a public discussion, and then you allow the public discussion until that becomes an issue, and then you regulate it. But you need political tension to even begin a conversation on the subject, because liberty, because freedom. This is how a free society should operate. Invention should be first, public discussion happens after. It's just the way of the universe, you know? You should be allowed to do whatever you want to do until somebody else's freedom comes to bear against it. And then it becomes a conversation. And then you bring legal action. And then you regulate it.
Indeed.
But what were you saying about Google and mapping and stuff like that? You were making a point.
It's kind of scary that you can put your address in, and Google Maps can like automatically pinpoint that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Google Maps has like my driveway on the thing, and I'm like, it's old though. It's like the neighbors I used to have like 20 years ago, like their vehicles in there. So some of it's
right.
not up to date.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was not even something that anybody talked about way back in the day, because the satellites just didn't have the resolution. But now, I mean, on almost a daily basis in Los Angeles, you'll see some mapping company just scanning the streets. And it's like, what are you guys doing?
Scanning the
It's like,
street.
They're scanning the streets. They're informing their mapping technology. And it's just like, well, who gave you permission to do this? It's like, nobody. There's no regulations on the books to prohibit it.
There's also some kind of some kind of thing. It's like some kind of app where you can like earn little tiny fragments of cryptocurrency if you have it on when you're driving around, so it can follow where you go and map out those areas.
Yeah, there's another one.
I forgot what it's called, but Chris tried it for a while. And I was like, don't you find that creepy?
Yeah, how do you not? But it's a ubiquitous part of owning a cell phone in the first place, that the cell phone network needs to continuously ping your phone to know where it is so that the device can work at all.
Right.
Right.
So you've already written some of your freedom away just by owning the device.
Yeah, they know where you are.
And it's not even anything nefarious. It just feels nefarious because you're just like, oh, wow, that language sounds awfully creepy.
Well, if you do something wrong, then yeah.
Right.
It can be used for nefarious purposes. Anything can be.
Sure. Including the absence of the technology, because before the cell phone, there was a lot of people getting hurt merely because they didn't have a radio device on them. And there was nowhere to run at a certain hour of night. So you were just screwed. But with a cell phone, now every single one of these devices has a special hotkey that if you hold that key down long enough, it starts recording audio and it starts sending out a signal to the local police force.
I didn't know that.
There are emergency systems built into all of these new phones.
It's called Stingray, right?
I don't know. I think every single device, every single company has their own device trademark, but on the Apple, there's an SOS button. If you hold it down before it says, do you want to shut the device off? It asks you, do you want to send out an SOS for emergency? It's an option. So this is a reality of our age. We're living in a very strange age where security can be weaponized for you and against you. And it's just a gray area that we're going to have to live with for a little while.
Damn.
I guess so.
Yeah, exactly, Milton. Yeah, exactly. You know, back in the day, you didn't carry a cell phone, you carried a butcher knife.
I
And
carry a
most
beeper.
people own a dagger.
Am I muted or what?
No?
Oh, nobody was talking. I was like, what did I say?
I just paused, and I was going to ask you. You were about to say something. I'm sorry.
Oh, I said I had a beeper.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, back in the 90s. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny. You go walking around a city neighborhood, and you'll see all these devices that us
Sorry,
old
sorry,
guys used to call.
I'll be right back. I'll be right
Okay.
back.
Okay.
Used to call payphones, and
Yep.
none of them are really connected anymore. I don't think any of them function at all anymore, but they're still there. They're still wired. You know, I don't know what they're doing there. It's supposedly the way the conversation goes is the phone companies and the city are just throwing their hands up. It's too expensive to dismantle them all. So they're just artifacts just sitting there, like those you'll see those old police posts that used to be a call box. Those things they're non-functional, but they're still on a lot of street corners in some neighborhoods. And they're just sitting there as artifacts of an earlier age.
Well, guys, I'm going to end things here. I do feel a little lightheaded, so.
I didn't realize an hour had gone by so quickly.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
hey, Milton. I'm sorry. I want to end the live stream here because I do feel lightheaded, and I'm not really, feeling that hot. But thank you for coming, and I thank everyone for coming on live stream as well, and in the chat. I would definitely do another hangout sometime this weekend for sure when I feel a little better. But also, please check out everybody in the chat. More Kitty.
Yeah.
They call me Nobody. Stefan.
Sweet.
And also follow me on my gaming channel when I play video games as well. Like
I'm trying to get her to go back to the Agatha Christie game, but she's being difficult.
I'll get to it. Yeah, I play Agatha Christie, ESO Online, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, which is a PS2 game. But yeah, I just think I need to get myself a internet amplifier for my PlayStation. And once I do that, I'll definitely go back and live stream some games.
You can use my Wi-Fi.
Ma'am?
Really? Like in remind me, is it in Sweden?
No, mine's in New Zealand. You just have to park up
I
outside
don't know
my house. I'll
why
give you the code.
I don't know why I think you're in Sweden though.
Nor do I.
I'm in New Zealand.
No.
Sweden's like ages away. Like that's halfway across the world for me.
That's like closer. That's like closer to Australia.
Correct.
South
Yeah,
Pole.
just south of the Southeast Asia and just north of Australia.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the captain lives.
Oh my! Everybody popping on. Oh.
Oop.
Oh, what happened?
I don't
They
know.
ran away because of my good looks.
But yeah, guys, like I'm sorry, I'm not really feeling hot right now, but I'll definitely do another hangout sometime this
Oh,
weekend.
You about out?
And Have a great night, everybody, and we'll catch you soon.
We love
Indeed.
you all.
Night.
Hope you
Night.
feel better soon.
If this is your first time being here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RaquelSSG2211. Catch you later.